This looks like a simple enough puzzle. Let us put our heads together.
Hey, look at that. I don't think it's solid enough to stand on, but it's a start.
So there's the trick. Each piece must be made solid in order for one of us to cross.
What is it? Go on then.
They only favored the clever, it seemed. By the Maker. It's the urn of sacred ashes. That's it! That's really it!
You have been through the trials of the Gauntlet. You have walked the path of Andraste, and like her, you have been cleansed. You have proven yourself worthy, Pilgrim. Approach the sacred ashes.
I didn't think anyone could succeed in finding Andraste's final resting place. But here she is.
I stand in awe. Really?
Nice vase. I should get one for my house.
You have been to the urn, but Andraste has not been freed? What manner of treachery is this? I should never have trusted you with this task, and now you will die! Behold the fiery vengeance of Andraste herself!
You cannot win!
You do not have
welcome back. You were gone for quite some time. Well, did you find it? Is that? Oh, there's some dust on... No, that's not dust. Omega, I am not worthy to look upon. What was it like, coming to the urn, I mean? Tests? Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps my research will not seem so much like blasphemy to the Chantry now. We must organize an expedition. There is so much history here, it must be studied. And pilgrims should be allowed to come to the urn.
And eventually, it shall be exploited by the rich and the powerful, as these things usually are.
I must return home. I have much to do. If you ever find yourself in Denerim, please visit me. I am not a rich man, but I have a small collection of interesting artifacts, and I do owe you a reward for coming to my rescue. I hope to see you soon, my friend.
You're awake. Did you feel it too? It was like the archdemons saw us. Saw us! What does that mean? I think... Wait. Did you hear that?
Hope I don't get blood all over you. This really gets the blood pumping.
I guess it's like Duncan once said. We can sense them, and they can sense us. We'd best be more careful from now on. This camp isn't safe any longer.
Will they send next? Darkspawn tax collectors?
Fortification should be built around the camp.
How unnerving.
It will be more difficult to sleep here now.
What, no trap? No ambush? Some assassins.
It is done. Let us move on.
You return. Might you have news? You have? Wonderful. Let us go at once to Eamon's side and see if the urn's healing powers live up to their reputation.
Where am I?
Be calm, brother. You have been deathly ill for a very long time. Do you remember nothing?
Tegan? What are you doing here? Where is Isolde?
I am here, my husband.
And Connor? Where is my boy? Where is our son?
He lives. Though many others are dead. There is much to tell you, husband.
Dead? Then it was not a dream.
Much has happened since you fell ill, brother. Some of it will not be easy for you to hear.
Then tell me. I wish to hear all of it. This is most troubling. There is much to be done, that is true. But I should first be thankful to those who have done so much. Grey Warden, you have not only saved my life, but kept my family safe as well. I am in your debt. Will you permit me to offer you a reward for your service? Then allow me to declare you and those traveling with you champions of Redcliffe. You will always be a welcome guest within these halls. And for you, Warden,
A shield of the same make as those that have been given to our finest knights.
We should speak of Loghain, brother. There is no telling what he will do once he learns of your recovery.
Loghain instigates a civil war even though the Darkspawn are on our very doorstep. Long I have known him. He is a sensible man, one who never desired power.
I was there when he announced he was taking control of the throne, Eamon. He is mad with ambition, I tell you.
Mad indeed. Mad enough to kill Cailan, to attempt to kill myself and destroy my lands. Whatever happened to him, Loghain must be stopped. What's more, we can scarce afford to fight this war to its bitter end. I could unite those opposing Loghain, yes. But not all oppose him. He has some very powerful allies. We have no time to wage a campaign against him. Someone must surrender if Ferelden is to have any chance at fighting the Darkspawn. I will spread word of Loghain's treachery, both here and against the king. But it will be but a claim made without proof. Those claims will give Loghain's allies pause, but we must combine it with a challenge Loghain cannot ignore. We need someone with a stronger claim to the throne than Loghain's daughter, the Queen.
Are you referring to Alistair, brother? Are you certain?
I would not propose such a thing if we had an alternative, but the unthinkable has occurred. Tegan and I have a claim through marriage, but we would seem opportunists no better than Loghain. Alistair's claim is by blood.
And what about me? Does anyone care what I want?
You have a responsibility, Alistair. Without you, Loghain wins. I would have to support him for the sake of Ferelden. Is that what you want?
But I... No, my lord.
I see only one way to proceed. I will call for a landsmeet, a gathering of all of Ferelden's nobility in the city of Denerim. There, Ferelden can decide who shall rule, one way or another. Then the business of fighting our true foe can begin. What say you to that, my friend? I do not wish to proceed without your blessing. None of this would be possible without you. You led Alistair here. You saved my life with the urn of sacred ashes. It's your lead I follow. I am a credible enough figure in this nation to call the landsmeet, but I hold no illusions that I could face Loghain without you. Surely you see that. Very well. I will send out the word. But before we proceed, I believe there is the matter of the mage, my son's tutor. He still lives, I understand.
He does. He is in the dungeon, brother.
Have him brought here, Tegan. I wish to see him. Jowan, what you have done is not in question. You tried to assassinate me and set into motion a series of events that nearly destroyed everything I cherish. What have you to say in your own defense?
Nothing, my lord. Other than to say I am sorry. I expect no mercy for what I've done.
I see. Grey Warden, have you anything to say on Jowan's behalf? Oh? That is unexpected. And what would you have me do? As the injured party, my ability to see the merciful path is strained. True enough, and wisely said. Jowan, I hereby turn you over to the Tower of the Circle of Magi. May the Maker have mercy on your soul.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, back to the matter of the landsmeet. It will take some time to recall my forces and organize our allies. I would prefer to wait until that is done before calling the landsmeet. In the meantime, I suggest you pursue the remainder of the Grey Warden treaties. We will need all the allies we can get if we are to defeat the Darkspawn horde.
Now that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliffe. I just wanted to thank you. You went out of your way to save the Isle's family, and you did it. Even though it would have been easier not to. There's been so much death and destruction. It makes me feel good that at least we were able to save something. No matter how small. I owed the Isle that much. You're right. Hopefully, by that time, there's still enough of Ferelden left to save. Good. Now that the warm, fuzzy part of the day is over with, we can get back to the ritual dismemberments. Oh wait, it's not Tuesday, is it?
I was just thinking about what happened to the elves, and I'm reminded of a song sung to me many years ago. It was when my mother died, and this wise elven woman comforted me and told me that we shouldn't fear death or hate it. Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free. And thus you embark upon another journey. Death is just the gateway.
I await your command. At times, perhaps, a world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees. Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. It was encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds. She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken. That is because I learned my lesson well. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been. Perhaps, but they were necessary still. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
No mercy.
Push them back! Here comes trouble!
This should be easy enough.
So I imagine it has been some time for you, Liliana.
Some time for me? I do not know what you mean.
Some time since you last knocked boots, shall we say? You did just come from the cloistered life, no?
Of course it has been some time. There are more important things in life than knocking boots, Zevran.
Oh, I'll not argue that. I simply mean that the body has urges. Urges given to us by the Maker. Yours must be considerable after all that time.
That is a very personal question.
I mean no offense. I simply offer my services should you ever feel the need for release.
That's very kind of you. Perhaps I should speak to the Grey Warden for advice on whether or not I should accept your offer.
Adventure has changed you, Liliana.
For the better, I hope.
Oh, you wish to talk to me? Truly, it's a courtesy for one so well-armed to notice a lowly merchant. It's not your business, but like my father, I was born on the surface. We never had a caste to leave. The Assembly says we've turned our back on the stone. but they still use the goods we bring. Hypocrites.
That's not right. Someone should do something.
Maybe it'll change by the time my children are grown. Twice a year, I'm confined to a trade stall in the Commons, but I see enough. It's very closed in. My grandfather says I've lost my stone sense. I was born topside. I don't remember having it. Best of luck to you.
They say no one goes in or out until the Assembly speaks.
My goods are just rotting on their doorstep. I won't just stand here and take this.
I demand an you insult all of Ferelden. King Loghain will not suffer the delay of his appointed messenger.
Vieta! This land is held in trust for the sovereign Dwarven kings. I cannot allow entry at this time.
King Loghain demands the allegiance of the Desher, or lords, or whatever you call them in your assembly. I am his appointed messenger.
I don't care if you're the king's wiper. Orzammar will have none but its own until our throne is settled. You're the exile. Aye. Despite your brother Balin's best efforts, sorrow finished what your kinslaying started. Your father is dead.
Kinslayer? Oh, you're not getting in.
Your conviction and guilt were entered into Assembly records. I suggest you leave and not compound this tragedy.
The Wardens killed King Cailan and nearly doomed Ferelden. They're sworn enemies of King Loghain.
Well, that is the Royal Seal. That means only the Assembly is authorized to address it. Grey Warden, you may pass.
What? He's a traitor! And a kinslayer! You said it yourself. In the name of King Loghain, I demand that you execute this stain on the honor of Ferelden! You'll hear of this. King Loghain will see you quartered.
You are free to enter Orzammar, Grey Warden. Though I don't know what help you will find.
Atrost follow, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. You left chaos to fester in your house, but we must respect your new role.
Those statues are dwarven paragons, if I remember right. The best of their ancestors.
Now that's a thing of beauty, daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her. She...
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Yes, Mother.
If only you had come at a less troubled time.
Your Highness, you live. We heard what happened. It was an injustice. My master is writing another book about the Idukans. He believes that Prince Balin set you up. My master has not forgotten how you defended him from Brunton Volney. May Orzammar be kinder to you than the last time you walked the roads.
How long were you in that cloister, my dear woman?
Just over 2 years. Why do you ask?
And all the brothers and sisters there, they had taken vows?
Most of them, yes.
For 2 years, you had no contact with anyone but men and women who are promised to some uncaring god?
What are you getting at?
Didn't you desire companionship during those 2 years? 2 years! The very thought makes me weak.
My time in the cloister was a time of contemplation. I occupied myself with thoughts of the Mako and other worthy pursuits, but like I said, most of the brothers and sisters had taken vows. Not all of them. Some were just affirmed, like me.
Aha! That is not so bad then.
Nothing happened, Zivran. It would not be right to engage in that behavior in a house devoted to the Maker.
Why? The Maker made us who we are. He made our urges. He gave us these parts. You think he made them for looks?
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
You not speak that way about the man who should be king!
I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders.
That son of a fool. Exile, you were not to show your face here again. I have enough crime to deal with. I shouldn't have to dump you back in the deep roads. That's right. You found pity topside. The Warden should have better sense when choosing allies. Surfacers and their cloud-addled heads. Fine, oh illustrious Grey Warden. What do you want? Blame yourself for that. The deaths in your house brought us here. And still the tavern is open, and the market is busy. Orzammar has suffered worse. The ancestors will see us through. I'll wager you do. But with your history, you won't get near him. Make your appeals to Vartag Gavorn, Balin's voice in the Assembly. Sorry, Warden, but the ancestors know your place. Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here. Yes, you should.
Sod it all, the exile. Never thought I'd see your face in the Commons. Never thought I'd be glad to either. But this can only help Balin. Whether he forgives you or you scare people, it's another crack in the old way. He has the legitimate claim, thanks to your failed grab. You abused the old ways, and now he has a chance to change them. I see where the gold is. It flows topside. Balin will guide us to adopt a new way. Of course, he can't come out and say that. Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change. Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against Darkspawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to them. I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Maker's blessing on you, brother. The Maker brought forth this world and every creature in it.
In my experience, religious people are inveterate liars.
He chose a human woman as his prophet and bride, but he loves all races, even elves. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar. There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it.
Yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers. Will you allow tradition to keep you from the path of enlightenment? Andraste revealed the truth. The Maker took her up to live at his right hand and... No, never mind. It's clear you strayed too far to be brought back with a single conversation.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in darkness. Mothers, keep him safe, for you know what it is to mourn. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? I can move aside. I don't have much to bring them. My name is Vilda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul. It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them. How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself. A warden? So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Don't get your hopes up. We could search the Deep Roads for decades with no sight of the boy.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Jannar's, we have everything from leather to platinum. I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object. Aye, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face you're not a smith yourself. You're welcome back if you change your mind. And you needn't bring a lot of coin. We also accept items in trade.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? Oh, I actually was talking to your companions, or are you from the surface too? Oh, wonderful! I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle? I've been trying to reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study. want to go to the circle to study. I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing. That would be wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperium's Verticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
I knew I should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down. Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
I did not expect to see you again. I am afraid you will find Orzammar much changed.
My lord, you're back! They told me you were dead. I'm flattered you remember, my lord. Perhaps you also remember our night of passion, the evening of your first commission? Or the son we created, who now has his birthright stripped from him because you got yourself exiled. I've had to care for him myself, nurse him, clothe him. I can't work. No one wants to lie with a woman who's used up her fertility on some castless brat. How could you do this to us? Yes, convince your family to take you back, or at least declare you honorably dead and acknowledge your son. Please, think about what his life will be otherwise. Thank you. I haven't had a solid meal in a week. Thank you. It's good to see you haven't completely forgotten us.
So, how is it the dwarves have a king? I thought they voted on everything, or something like that.
I heard you had returned to his exile. What insult do you mean by coming here? It's difficult to believe that. After you left, many cruel accusations fell on Balin. He could only assume they came from you. Why would he trust you now? I have seen this treaty in the Shaper's libraries, but it is only the king it compels, and your father has unfortunately passed on. If you seek Balin's help, he can only give it from the throne, and only if no one stands in the way of his getting there.
I'm saying that if you want a king who'll heed your call to fight the Darkspawn, you'll have to show you've put the past behind you. I won't be passing that message on, Exile. Your brother will be king soon. He's the one who decides who lives and who dies.
The Assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the Assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The Assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. So it's true. The exile has returned, and we are to treat you as a respected guest. It's the one perk to this position, child. Or should I call you Warden? I'm glad to hear the surfacers are making use of your talents. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Ferender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Lord Harrowmont sends his greetings, Exile. He was surprised to see you back here. You may have convinced his lordship of your innocence, but it is my duty to protect him, even from his own folly. We've already caught more than one of Balin's spies trying to get close to his lordship, so I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you. Lord Harrowmont always had too much affection for you, but I know you Idukans and your thirst for glory. If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down. That would be enlightening, though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm.
And this is to be your king, one who cannot keep his own men from running like frightened children.
Lord Harrowmont does not use threats or intimidation to motivate his men. He leads by example.
Ah, I see. So it's his example they follow as they cower from this Prince Balin.
How dare you slander Lord Harrowmont?
Why should we ally ourselves with someone too scared even to grant us an audience? I suppose not everyone can face death as undaunted as an Antivan, it's true.
Then you agree to fight in Harrowmont's name. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harriman's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Beisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.